Foreign Committee, it's the Senate, not the Foreign Committee. And they hang up on you.
They hung up on me. Again, this isn't the first time when I've tried to call these people out.
Like because I said, you told
Peter
me
that
King did the same thing, right?
Darren LaHood's office.
Really?
You know, you put these people, when you tell these people you understand what's going on, then they get offended.
This is an outrage.
And when they get offended, conversation's over with. Don't blame the liberals. Don't blame the liberals because they're all this way. If more people understood what the job of government was, we wouldn't be in the shape that we're in because we would hold them accountable before they can get anywhere. See, Pelosi and them should have never left. And Thornberry, the only reason you got him to go is so you couldn't show a biased delegation going there. See, they did that under Obamacare, too. If you remember when they passed Obamacare, you had one Republican, a Vietnamese, he came from Vietnam, ran for, I can't remember if it was down in Louisiana, Arkansas, or someplace. He was the only one that voted for it. That's so they couldn't show that the Democrats were abusing their power. They're covering each other. That's what you got to watch out for.
Oh, boy. So, do you should the president be moving forward on this and bring the Logan Act, on them? I mean, or at least have some kind of conversation about it?
Well, he can bring it up. He can talk. He can say whatever he wants. He has the power to talk to these and give them ideas on direction on what to do.
I think I think for the fact of just public opinion, for the jury of the public to see that she has overstepped her bounds here.
Well, that's why Pelosi and
Schiff
Pencilneck went.
Yeah.
They went over there. They're talking with the people over there so they can come back with their opinion so they can throw more dirt on Trump.
Yeah, see, this
whole thing is about opinions.
Yeah, opinions, there's laws, there's not opinions. We don't base what we do in this country based on opinions. We do it by law. And I'm looking at this and I'm befuddled by it. I'm just completely stunned by this. And I think from what I've read, and I'm going to give a couple examples in a little bit, but, this Logan Act has been brought up before, and apparently it never comes to fruition, even when somebody breaks the Logan Act. But even if it's just simply for the jury of public opinion, President Trump and Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes and McCarthy, they need to come on. They need to get on these guys about this. This is something where in my opinion, you got to drop the hammer because for everything that's going on and all the grief that this guy has gotten, regarding taking troops out of there, he sends Pence there. He sends Pompeo there for what? For Pelosi to go and undo what Pence and Pompeo did? I mean,
well, you got to remember, John. You got to remember who holds government accountable? Themselves, because they have created everything to keep us from going and holding them accountable. They've got immunity to this. And if you bring this up, they're going to attack you. And that's where we've gotten ourselves over the decades. Since the War of 1812, our government has turned itself into exactly what our founders didn't want them to be, and they were doing it slowly through legislation. And if you think that they're going to hold themselves accountable, you've got another thing coming. Because the only thing that's going on right now is the impeachment of Donald Trump based upon opinions.
This can't fly, man. I'm sorry. This cannot fly. Voters, you have got to get out there and act. I mean, honestly, this is just wrong.
We have our duty is to hold government accountable. The Declaration of Independence says when the government becomes destructive of its duties, it's the right of the people to abolish and replace it. And reinstate a proper form of government.
And the challenge is the media is not honest. The media is corrupt, and therefore not enough people really understand what it is that we should be holding these politicians accountable to. They don't know.
And yes, and we don't know their job. That's That's all. You don't let schooling get in the way of your education. Schooling is supposed to guide you on to be able to learn how to use your head. Well, they're teaching you. They're putting stuff in your head. You know, and when people get out of school, they don't care about an education now.
No.
They already know everything. But when you don't know what the job of government is, then the government's going to do whatever they want. And this is what you got. You got the Democrats, the Pelosi and Pencilneck and everybody else there that's created their own court system now. They're creating their own rules. They're creating their own juries.
Yeah.
All based upon public opinion.
Steve, excellent call as always. I thank you very much. Bringing some light into this. I'm so disappointed that they would treat somebody like you who brings a little knowledge to the game and just, you know, I'm sure you're not rude when you're in there questioning them. You're just simply saying, wait a minute, this is not what it says. It says the Senate. It doesn't say the Foreign Affairs Committee, and they decide they're going to hang up on you. I mean, that's ridiculous. That really is.
I don't get mouthy. I know
you're respectable.
Being rude. I even apologize. But to the point is when you call them out.
Yeah.
That's where you can't get no place with these people. Even when you go to town hall meetings, you get shut down there too. That's what you got to be scared of.
And you've experienced that, I know. And I guess when you simply point out what they should already know, they just get upset. And, I don't know. Steve, excellent. I'm glad you called. Thank you so much. And thanks for cluing me in on this because this really bothered me the more I read it.
Just trying to get the truth out there, and I give you information for you to look up, and you do one heck of a good job on looking this stuff up.
All right, my man. Thanks, Steve. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. There you have it. I mean, honestly, this is absurd. And how does a guy like this get hung up on by these people? This is crazy. So let me give you some examples of what the Logan Act, when it has been tried to be enforced. So in 1987 and 88, President Reagan was furious at what he felt to be House Speaker Jim Wright's intrusion into the negotiations between Nicaragua's Sandinista government and the Contras for a ceasefire in the long Civil War. Very similar to what we got going on right now. I mean, this is almost a duplicate of what went on 31 years ago. The National Security Council considered using the Logan Act to muzzle Wright, but nothing ever came of it. That was a mistake. They need to muzzle Pelosi right now. That was a mistake. But we have precedent of something like this having happened before. In June of 2007, 20 years later, Representative Steve King introduced legislation that would prohibit, guess who? Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, from drawing on federal funds to travel to foreign states with the U.S. deemed to sponsor terrorism. King claimed that Pelosi's dialogue with the Syrian government, oh, here we go again, violated the Logan Act. The amendment was not adopted. So you can see why some of these people are kind of like antsy about trying to push this. In April of 2018, just a year and a half ago, former Secretary of State John Kerry met with Iranian foreign minister in order to ensure the Iranian nuclear deal framework remained more or less intact, clearly undermining what President Trump was doing. The Boston Globe speculated that Kerry's actions could be interpreted as violating the Logan Act. Clearly it was. However, Stephen Vladeck, law professor at the University of Texas, did not agree that Kerry would be in violation of the act because he is preserving previous U.S. measures rather than seeking to destroy U.S. measures. I have no idea what that even means. The Logan Act is the Logan Act. Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2 reads just like I read it. This is ridiculous. Matthew Summers, a spokesman for Kerry, admitted that Kerry urged Iran to keep its commitments under the Iran nuclear agreement, again undermining what the President of the United States was doing. This is just ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but I would put that out there. I would, if it's just simply to educate the people on what the Logan Act is, but that should happen. President Trump, put the hammer on her, man. This cannot fly. Somebody cannot go there and undermine what you have done. Whether I agree with it or not agree with it doesn't matter. He's the President of the United States. As for some of you that listen to the show, you know I wasn't a big fan of him pulling the troops out, at least not the way it went down. But, you know, he has his reasons. He has better information than I do. I don't, you know, who am I to say? It's just an opinion from far, far away. You know, as you get closer and understand this, you get into the rabbit hole of the situation, you understand things differently, and maybe I would have changed my mind. I know Steve, who we just had on the call, felt like we didn't need to be there. I'm not saying we do need to be there, But we do need. I just felt like it just felt odd to me to leave the Kurds just high and dry. At least it felt that way. So anyway, um, really disappointed in Pelosi in doing this. Look, I don't like her. I don't like Schiff. I don't like anything that they're about. But whether what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, and this is clearly wrong. So again, President Trump, the Logan Act, at least put it out there so the jury of public opinion can just see how shady they are. It's just one more layer besides the impeachment process that they're trying to pull. If it's me, I go right at her with this. This cannot stand, and I'm sorry. So we got Sheila on the line, so let's bring her in. Let me go to this. Sheila, are you on?
I'm on here.
Hello. Happy Monday, Sheila. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I like what Steve says.
It's fact. That's all. He just brings the facts.
And it was Governor Jindal, I think he was talking about.
Okay.
I think they came from India. His
I remember
Governor
Jindal. Yeah.
Yeah. And but the thing about what you answered the question a few minutes ago. I wanted to know how she got her hands on the money to go across over there, and that's none of her business.
Well, I mean, it's
What she needs
everybody's.
to do is hear what happens for Speaker of the House. She needs to be handling that.
She needs to do her job. We don't need. The president's already got a Secretary of Defense. He's got a Secretary of State. He doesn't need Pelosi going there and undermining what he did.
And what President Trump was tired about was our soldiers were being shot at and killed, bombs, and taking care of all these people, and they wouldn't.
I think I lost you. Did I lose you? All right. So we lost Sheila. Okay. Sorry about that, Sheila. All right. So, yeah, I get Sheila's point. I understand why we want to get out of there. Nobody wants to have to talk about, I'm sure the president doesn't want to have to make that phone call to the parents of a soldier who's passed away, from being at war. No president would like to do that. That's got to be the worst part of the job right there. No doubt about it. So he made a decision to pull those troops out. They had captured the last of the ISIS people, back in March. He said, look, you got 6 months. We're getting out of here. Nobody came up with a plan. So he said, boom, all right, we'll do it. I'm just going to do it then. Because that was a promise that he kept during the campaign. And the one thing he's been very good at is keeping his promises. So just another one that he's going to keep. And I get it. I don't want to keep our troops there either. Again, my disagreement was more with, did we just leave high and dry, or what did we do? That being said, I get why he did it. It makes sense. But this has got to stop. This Nancy Pelosi can't just decide that she's going there with somebody who's trying to impeach the president and Adam Schiff and decide that they're going to go to Syria and undermine what the president has done. That cannot stand. To me, if I'm the president, that's the last straw. I go on the offensive. The Senate, get a backbone, go on the offensive. This cannot stand. I'm sorry. This has got to stop. You can't just do that. It's one thing to not be a fan of Pelosi, but it's another one to just see the blatantness of the undermining that occurs there. That's just wrong. It's wrong in so many ways. It absolutely is. All right, guys, we have about a minute left in the segment. For the radio audience, you guys will be going to NFL to hear the New England Patriots are at the New York Jets. They just played a couple weeks ago. I think the Patriots won like 30-14 or something. I know the Jets are at home and they're a 10-point dog, and I think New England's only given up like 48 points all year, so their defense must be pretty incredible. So enjoy that game. Who knows? Maybe the Jets Jets will come and surprise the Patriots. For the rest of you guys on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, we will continue to stay on the air. So please hang with us. We got more to talk about, including San Francisco once again just embarrassing themselves, and I definitely have to talk about that. All right, guys, you're listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED, and we will be back after the break. Hey, hey, Facebook. Hello, hello. Oh, I think I got it. Hello, 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 hello. I can hear the game. Am I supposed to?
Oh, you know what? That's there
Okay.
you go.
Okay. So I don't know what you hit. PGM or odd?
Program.
Program.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep it on program.
All right.
Keep it on program.
Oh.
Yeah, turn down your headphones.
All right. Ooh, that was loud. Oh man. Okay. Facebook. I'll be with you shortly.
Back to the John Meccico Show on the Valley's new talk leader, Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
All right, guys, welcome back to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Our phone numbers are 559-442-1680. You are listening to the home of Jarris Jackson at 2 o'clock, Bill O'Reilly at 3:45, John Meccico at 4, and Guillermo Moreno at 5. Nice little lineup we got in the afternoon, and again, I'm still jealous of Jarris talking to Bill O'Reilly. Man, that's big time as far as I'm concerned. All right. Ah, man. And thank you to Facebook. Appreciate you guys hanging in with us. All right. So, we just got talking about Nancy Pelosi just undermining Trump, and I'm heated about that. That's just absolutely ridiculous. So, I guess maybe I shouldn't expect anything less. Speaking of ridiculous, there's more ridiculous news, and it comes from the state of California. All right, guys. Ah, gosh. San Francisco Mayor London Breed and Supervisor Valley Brown announced last week that starting January 1st of this upcoming year, 2020, city employees in San Francisco are now forbidden to take work trips or do business with companies in 22 states that have restricted abortion laws. These states include Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Nebraska, Nevada, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. So, the city of San Francisco is going to butt heads business-wise with the 22 states that I just mentioned. Let's see who is going to win that. Breed said in a statement, "Every day in this country, women's reproductive rights are threatened, and we have to fight back. Just as we are restricted spending with states that have laws that discriminate against LGBTQ people, we are standing up against states that put women's health at risk, and they are actively working to limit reproductive freedoms." Pretty soon, San Francisco is not going to be able to do business with anybody because there's always somebody that you're going to be unhappy with, especially San Francisco. So apparently, that's the agenda. Oh, boy. She added, by limiting travel and contracting with certain states, we are sending a clear message to states that disregard the right to abortion. By the way, 9 of these states that I mentioned were already on the city's list because of their LGBTQ laws and policies. So let's see, 9 were on the list. There were 22, so they've added another 13 on the list. Yep, almost half the country now. Good work, guys. So city officials, they actually acknowledge that the ban may not provide the financial blow to the states to force them to rethink their anti-abortion measures. No kidding. Of course they're not going to rethink it. But Breed's office hopes that the move will serve as an example for other municipalities to follow suit. I don't think that's going to happen, people. She said, although tax revenue from San Francisco alone may not be sufficient to encourage states to rethink their laws, if other cities and states follow San Francisco's lead, can't wait to do that, the financial pressure might be enough to prompt policy changes. So you're going to have your people that do business with other states suffer, hoping that other people in other states, other cities, might go ahead and follow your lead. This is the most ridiculous idea that I have ever heard. The 22 states. 22 states. On what planet do these people come from? Honestly. And who is voting these people in to make these kind of decisions? First off, why would anyone want to follow the lead of San Francisco? Are you managing your city so well that others are taking notice and saying, geez, look how great San Francisco's doing. We should be more like them. I don't think anybody's saying that. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure nobody is saying that. If you've been to San Francisco recently, there's nothing that you're going about, wow, this place looks great. Why don't you take the old biblical line? Why don't you take the plank out of your own eye before you take the speck out of somebody else's eye? Who are you to be telling other states what to do and other cities what to do? Have you lost your mind? You got syringes and you got feces all over the streets. Your taxes are ridiculously high. People are leaving the city and the state in droves. People have to pay 3.5 times as much to get a U-Haul to get out of your city than for someone from another state to get into your city. Because the price of a U-Haul is so much higher in San Francisco because of the demand to get out of the city. And you're going to try to implement things like this? You just passed this AB 5. That's the state. That's not just the city. This AB 5 that just got passed into law, not allowing people to freelance in jobs anymore, that's going to cause unemployment. That's going to cost less wages. That's going to make less money go into people's retirement accounts or maybe to fund schools or children's education for college. That's what this does. And the list goes on. There's so many other things that the state and the city of San Francisco are doing. And you want to lecture other states and other cities on what they should and shouldn't do? Are you serious? Other cities aren't going to follow suit with you. You only hurt yourselves when you make decisions like this. You are hurting working people to the point that they can't afford to live there anymore. I mean, you can't afford to live in San Francisco. Now you want to do this to these people? Who is it that you plan on taxing with your socialistic agenda when everyone decides to leave? That's what I want to know. When all these people are leaving, who is it that you're taxing? You know, the old line, socialism is great until the money runs out. The money's going to run out very quickly, the way you're running things. It's absolutely crazy. Can you not see the end game to this whole idea that you're championing? You want people in your city who do business around the country to not do business with half the country because of your social views. Oh, wow. That's brilliant. That is just brilliant. You know what people care about more than what you think regarding abortion? They care about paying the rent in your overpriced city. They care about putting food on the table for their families. They care about getting to work and having a job to go to. They care about buying their kids school clothes. You know, things that matter to the immediate family. These people may have certain feelings about your moral, or should I say immoral high ground, but that doesn't trump the need to live in a nice neighborhood and provide for their loved ones. It's never going to. Nobody goes to work thinking about, oh my gosh, you know what? Let me pull a state up here. Oh my gosh, South Carolina with their, you know, their abortion laws. I can't stand it anymore. Nobody goes to work thinking those things. Has that crossed your mind? Nobody's really worried about Oklahoma and Pennsylvania if you live in San Francisco and you're just trying to eke out a living for your family. They're not worried about their abortion laws. You know, if there are people, it's a very, very few minority, but that seems to be who you cater to. This is absurd. San Francisco is supposed to be one of these states that a lot of people want to visit. They should have a high tourist attraction, but now the place looks like crap. No pun intended. It does. And now you're going to try to take these 22 states and have some kind of confrontation with them so that they can't visit your city, because they won't. And to the people that do business with these states, you're just cutting the money off you're cutting their money stream. You're cutting their money supply. They're going to have to leave. Who are you going to tax? It really just makes no sense. San Francisco, you got to get a clue. You got to get a clue. This is just another embarrassing market, what seems to be just a weekly blunder on the part of California in general. I mean, it just really does. It just never ends. It never ends. I mean, last week we had the whole thing with Governor Newsom taking all the money that they just pushed to, we got to fix these roads. We got to fix these roads. We got to fix 99. We got to build more lanes. And just decided to take all that money and you're going to put it to the high-speed rail that never materialized in the first place? Where did the $77 billion go? And now our roads are never going to get fixed? This is what we're dealing with here. We can't continue to vote for these people anymore. Who is voting for these people? San Francisco in particular, man, you guys, you got to get this straightened out because, honestly, it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. So, I don't know. All right. We're going to continue on because Woody's looking at me like, yeah, just keep going. So we're just going to keep going. Woody's my man. Speaking of embarrassing, oh, gosh. There was something that occurred this weekend. This is very embarrassing. And it's a Republican. He says he's a Republican. He's not really a Republican. Senator Mitt Romney, on Monday, after the Utah senator confirmed the existence of a shadow Twitter account under the name of Pierre Delecto. What the heck is that? Where'd you, first off, the name? Pierre Delecto. Is it supposed to be French or something? Like, what the heck is this? Guys, this is embarrassing. Mitt, what are you doing? You ran for president of the United States not long ago. It really wasn't that long ago. This is now what you have been reduced to? You've got to be kidding me. A Republican only in name who now has to hide behind a pseudonym because you're not man enough to stand up behind some things that you think and say. So you created a pseudonym. Oh, this has never worked. This has never worked. It just causes embarrassment to people. Mitt Romney's not the first person to do this, and he's not going to be the last. Always somebody thinks that they can outsmart social media. Other politicians have done this. There has been many famous athletes who have done this, especially in the NBA. But when it's found out, it just looks horrible. And the media just crushes these people. They just beat the hell out of them for doing something like this. Why do you need a pseudonym? Can't you stand behind what you say? Honestly, it's insane. It just looks so bad. Forget ever running for president again. Forget that. That ain't ever going to happen. This incident will always come up if you ever do decide to run again. I can see it now. Anytime he would say something controversial, people would be like, well, who's saying that? Is it Mitt Romney saying it or is Pierre saying this? Like, I can only imagine the grief that he's going to take. Mike Huckabee, he commented, having fake Twitter accounts on social media, that's the work of kids, cowards, couch potatoes, and perverts like former Congressman Anthony Weiner, whose alter ego in the Twitter world was apparently somebody named Carlos Danger. Oh, my gosh. Listen, if you got something to say, you man up and say it. You find your backbone and you say it. You don't go to a fake Twitter account. I don't even understand what the heck was he doing. So there's, a writer for The Atlantic who wrote a profile on the Utah Republican. Again, Republican in name only, I swear. And his tense relationship with the president. Asked Romney about the mystery Twitter account, and he said Romney responded in the affirmative. I guess you say this, c'est moi, which means in French, it's me. What is it with this fascination with the French? First his name is Pierre, and now he answers it, it's me in French. What's going on here? I didn't know he had this fascination with France. Maybe Macron and him have been talking on the side, and all of a sudden he just wants to be like French. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. All I know is that it's pretty embarrassing. It really, really is. And I don't know what to say about it. Honestly, it's just, it is what it is, right? Let us all realize that this guy is not a team player, said Huckabee. He's still bitter because Donald Trump got elected and he didn't. Huckabee said, adding, he's embarrassed for Romney. When Mike Huckabee's embarrassed for you, you've done something pretty bad. At least I think you did. The sad part for Romney is that he has now proven Trump right. When the president calls him a loser, yeah, you've just now come across like a loser. The president looks like he's come across correct. You're a loser. You can't stand, you can't put your name behind what you say. You come up with Pierre and answer the Atlantic guy, c'est moi. I'm sure I'm butchering that, as simple as it may be to the French, but I mean that really is just, I don't know. Way to go, Rit. Way to go, Mitt. Way to go. Way to go. I don't know. I don't know what else you could possibly say, except it's embarrassing. Ah, just kills me. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, keep going. Woody's giving me the okay. I'm doing it. All right. I'm not sure if I should go. Yeah, we'll go with this. So Buttigieg, apparently he's making some noise. So South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg landed in third on the latest Suffolk University USA Today poll. The pollster asked 500 likely Iowa Democratic caucus goers. So this is how the numbers break down. Biden at 18%, Warren at 17%, Buttigieg at 13%. That's a huge jump. Bernie Sanders slash AOC, they're a team now, 9%. And then Kamala Harris, my gosh, she's dropped like she's got cement shoes and she's in an ocean, man. It's done. Harris, Steyer, Klobuchar, and Gabbard, 3%. You know what's really funny? Cory Booker, not even mentioned in the article. And he's got very little money left. Cory just needs to hang it up. He just needs to stop. It's done. The Iowa caucus takes place in about 105 days. And things can change a lot. You got what? That's 3.5 months. Things can change a lot in 3.5 months. But Buttigieg certainly made an impression here. The poll had more good news for Buttigieg because 14% of the respondents chose him as their second choice, that's important because if you're choosing Sanders at 9%, and maybe there's a lot of people choosing Buttigieg at next, although I would think they'd be choosing Warren. Maybe that's a bad example, but maybe you're choosing Biden. But if he ends up dropping out, which is a possibility, don't care what Guillermo says, he has little money in the coffer and he's losing his polling numbers pretty quickly. Buttigieg may get a lot of those votes, a lot of that poll correspondence. So we'll see. But anyways, Buttigieg, 14% of the respondents chose him as their second choice. And actually 22% of them picked Warren as their second choice. So I don't know. I think she's going to fade fast too. I think she's just shady. Buttigieg landed in 5th place in this June poll at 6%. So now he's at 13%. He's actually doubled his poll number since June. July, August, it's about 5 months. What else? Biden had held first place at 24%, and now he's at 18%. So think about that. He lost 6%. Buttigieg gained 7%. It sounds like, if Biden was to lose out, Buttigieg gets those votes by a majority of people. And this is the thing, people. Remember, if you're looking at this Democratic primary, Buttigieg has money. He's got a lot of money in the coffer. He's in this thing for the long run. So if Biden does drop out, it will be very, very interesting to see what happens. I'll be very curious. What else? There was a story. So it may also help that Buttigieg has more campaign offices in Iowa than any other candidate. So he really wants to get a very strong showing in Iowa. But there was a story today in Breitbart that Buttigieg may also be getting some additional, air quotes, advice from Mark Zuckerberg's group at Facebook. I'm not exactly sure the exact ties, except that both being Harvard alums. Also, a person named Nina Warnohoff, now a data manager for the Buttigieg campaign, previously worked as a machine learning engineer for Zuckerberg, at least the Chan Zuckerberg initiative. And somebody named Eric Maevsky, a digital analytic advisor for the Democratic presidential candidate, that being Buttigieg. He also worked for Facebook between 2010 and 2014. So now, people always talk about social media and how they can influence things. And then you see this connection between Zuckerberg and Buttigieg. Everybody's antennas kind of go up, right? So it's understandable. Now, the only bad news for Buttigieg, since the undecided caucus goers went up 8% in his poll to 29% in this poll, about 63% of the respondents, which is 2/3 of the 500, said they may change their minds before the caucus. Whatever, that doesn't mean much. Also, it said that the poll showed people have come down with debate fatigue, and that 64% of those polled in June watched both nights of the debate, while only 37% watched the one-night debate this month. So people are getting fatigued watching these debates. I get it. I get, I have to watch it, but, it does get fatiguing. Once the 2 hour mark goes, we get to the 2 hour mark, I'm pretty much done and wish it would just be over. And hopefully that's going to be the case as less and less candidates or more candidates drop out and there's less and less candidates in the on stage. By the way, Jairus's girl, Tulsi, I don't know if anybody saw the video of her doing some mixed martial arts with one of the strawweight champions, somebody who somebody, I don't know, but anyway, she was from Hawaii, and she was over there. They had some video of her punching some mitts and I guess doing some MMA stuff. So clearly now, I truly do believe that I don't care what men are on stage, including Buttigieg or Booker. Tulsi is the toughest person on that stage. She's the one person that you don't want to mess with. She's got my vote if they decide to go take it to the octagon. Tulsi's my girl. All right, I got my money on her, so I don't think you want to mess with her. Yeah. All right, my last story. So as many of us know, Halloween is soon upon us. In about, today's the 21st, so in about 9 days, there's going to be kids coming to your door, knocking, having these funny little outfits. Kids will be in their favorite costumes. And when they knock on your door, they'll have a little saying, trick or treat and whatever it may be. And they're going to ask you to give them some candy to help rot their teeth. Actually, they don't know that, but that's what they're doing. They're collecting candy. And it's usually fun for me, anyways, to see these costumes that these kids come up with. I actually enjoy it. I enjoy listening to their little voices and, the little, they don't knock real hard on the door, but it's them. And yeah, I just enjoy the thank you, and they just kind of walk away. It's a fun time. And they do look cute. And it should be a happy time for everybody. But leave it to one state to put a damper on it. And surprisingly, I am not talking about California for once. I know, don't fall over. I'm not actually talking about California. I'm talking about a state that's actually near and dear to my heart, New Jersey. That award of just dumbness regarding Halloween goes to New Jersey. Fall is upon us, and to celebrate New Jersey is a big mistake right now. Their official Facebook page, yes, they have an official Facebook page, New Jersey's Division of Taxation, reminded consumers that decorative pumpkins are now subject to a sales tax. All right? If you decide that you're going to buy the pumpkin for food, that's not taxable. But if you're going to use the pumpkin to decorate it, that is taxable. And I don't know how they're going to differentiate. Are they going to have the pumpkin police go to your house and see that, there's a pumpkin on your front porch, therefore we're going to hand you a bill of a certain amount? Are they going to weigh the pumpkin to see how much it weighed and base their sales tax that way? I have no idea how they're going to do this. So from this, the Save Jersey blog, somebody's trying to save Jersey. It says, the Murphy administration went out of its way to remind residents that, yes, like most things in the state, your pumpkins are subject to sales tax. Pumpkins used for decoration are subject to sales tax, the division wrote. Pumpkins used for food or in food preparation are tax-free. So if you carve out the pumpkin to use it for food and then just decide to take the outer part to make the kids happy, we have to tax you on that, is basically what they're saying. Because how would you know if it was going to be used for consumption? That makes no sense. New Jersey state sales tax is 6.625, down from 7% following the 2016 gas tax hike. California, remember we just talked about this last week, the gas tax hike, and how they just took the money away. Governor Murphy, he's kind of that same guy. And basically, he's trying to raise it back to 7%. In 2018, New Jersey farms cranked out 110,500 CWTs. That's basically 100 weight. So I guess for every 100 weight worth of pumpkin, they cranked out 110,500 weight. I guess if I add zeros to that, that comes out to like 11 million. I don't know what it comes out with. That's a large number. Anyway, New Jersey is also consistently ranked as one of America's most overtaxed states, and it is. I lived there for a lot of years. I got to get away from tax states. I got to go back to Vegas. I really do. Anyway, this has got to be the most ridiculous Halloween story that we will hear, although California has 9 days to supplant that or surpass that, and we will wait to see. Now, I will add one thing to this, is when he starts laughing. You may want to carve out those pumpkin seeds for consumption, because they are apparently good for prostate health. And after seeing what the state of New Jersey does to its people, well, I'll let you fill in the blank. All right? Because, it's gotten a little nuts here. All right? It's gotten a little nuts here. All right, guys. We've got a few minutes left on the show. Again, Jairus Jackson with a great, if you can go back to, I don't know if they can listen to the interview or not, but if they can, yeah, gosh, the United States of Trump, written by Bill O'Reilly, and there's Jairus Jackson interviewing him. And talking to Jairus off the air, he said, you know what, Bill O'Reilly was really cool. He really gave him a big thumbs up in a lot of ways. And Woody's agreeing here because Woody was here at the station when that happened. So very, very cool stuff. I'm still upset about the whole Pelosi thing going. I'm going to be upset about that for days. Her and Schiff going to Syria and just undermining the president. That just cannot happen, folks. And, Schiff and Pelosi are both from California. Gavin Newsom is in California. All these people that are just creating havoc are all from California. We do have, we can't vote. You can vote these people out. You can't keep undermining the president like that. That's just a horrific story. I'm sorry. And, yeah, that should have never happened. It should have absolutely never happened. Schiff, being that he's running the efforts to impeach President Trump, am I to believe that there's no conflict of interest here? There's an absolute conflict of interest here. Am I supposed that we're going to go there to somehow solve the problem with the Kurds in Syria? How could that possibly be? They can't do that. They don't. As a matter of fact, it was already done 48 hours before they got there. Pompeo and Pelosi did it. It's just disgusting. And then President Trump, I know you're not listening to my show, but just in case, look, even a blind squirrel finds a nut on occasion, okay? Maybe some, hey, you should listen to this Meccico guy. He's not too, he's pretty swift. But the Logan Act, bring the Logan Act down on Pelosi. Bring it. I don't care if it doesn't go anywhere, and the people need to know about it. And in the jury of public view, she needs to be held guilty for something. Go on the offensive. Please, I beg you, go on the offensive, President Trump. To me, she undermined you in a very bad way. This cannot stand. This has to stop. Go get her. I mean, man, sick a dog on her, man. Somebody in the Senate that do what Barr's doing with Horowitz and Durham. Which, man, we got to get to that story this week. Guys, it was a quick hour. Thank you so much. And NFL football. Gotta go Pats. I'm saying Pats. All right, guys. We will talk to you tomorrow. All right. I want to talk to Facebook real quick. I didn't get a chance to. Miss my guys. Miss my people. Oh, gosh. Okay. Denise liking my shirt. Thank you, Denise. That's cute. Diane. No, guys, we didn't have sound, and I think that got fixed, so sorry about that. Sheila, sorry that we lost you on here. I apologize about that. Elaine from Jersey. Hello, Elaine. Elaine, Trey Gowdy, Judicial Watch will be on this. Elaine, I hope so. I hope so, because this... You know what, Judicial? Yeah, Tom Fitton. He would be excellent with this and at least bring it up to the right people. I would love Trey Gowdy to be on this, but I think there's some law that he can't work in any way for the president's capacity until the year after he's relieved, until a year from the point that he left Congress. Carmelo, Revolt, Citizens, Binky, treaties can change anytime, period. Stephanie, Pelosi is not president. She needs to be doing her job as Speaker. Absolutely. Spent 4 hours calling every Republican senator today to change them all for violation of the Logan Act. Yep. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Michigan Mike was in the house. Appreciate that. Was anyone left behind? Lane, Michael. Johnny Mooch was in the house. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Denise and Michael saying hello to each other as always. That always makes me laugh. Hello, Maggie. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you. Michael, we as Christians need to keep Christ in our lives. Ah, Michael, so true. So true. I wish you could see the work that I do outside of here, Michael. You'd probably really enjoy it. Stephanie in Oklahoma, you pay sales tax. Elaine, what in the actual hell? I live in Somerville, New Jersey. I did not hear there's no pumpkins here this year. Elaine, I know. Check it out. It's crazy. Michael says they'll go after pumpkin pie next. All right. Guys, you guys are the best. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks.